Hey everyone, this is Miko from the Permit Empire, and I'm jumping in here real quick because I want everyone to know. I want to first thank everyone who has signed up for the Permit Runner Boot Camp workshop that will be this Saturday, May 13th. I want to let you know I appreciate it. I've gotten all your emails, and as you can probably see, and this is the reason for this live, is because I sent each and every one of you who signed up for the course, I sent you some homework today. So I sent it out quite a few hours ago, but I'm making sure. I want to make sure that each and every one of you who signed up, I want to make sure you actually got the homework. Now I got a few responses from you, so I know that it went out. I know that it was successfully out, right? But I want to just make sure that each and every one of you got it. It is part of just that learning experience, is things that we need to be aware of as permit runners. And so I'm giving that to you as a homework assignment. Again, this is just because I want to make sure that you got it. I want to make sure that you saw it, that you were able to go over everything and review it, right? And that is just for everyone who signed up for the Permit Runner Boot Camp Workshop this coming up Saturday, May 13th. Now, yes, I closed out registration for it. Hey, everybody, Sharon, Robin, SMS Notary Services. Hey, good to see y'all in here. So, yes, I did close out registration, right? And I know I didn't talk about it a whole lot, the boot camp, because I like to keep it kind of small. Like I like to keep it small so that I can have an opportunity to talk to you. If you have something, like if I'm going through something and you don't quite understand what it is I'm saying, I like to have that opportunity to have an exchange with you to say, okay, no, this is what I'm saying. I want to make it clear. This is what I am saying, right? Hey, Valerie. Okay, you're going to be joining too. Great, great, great. I don't know if you saw that I sent out homework today. It's quick and easy, but I do want you to respond. Everybody who got it, I do definitely want you to respond because I just want to make sure that you're getting an understanding. Listen, you guys are paying for the workshop. It's not free. You're paying for it. So I want to make sure that you get an understanding of what it is that you've signed up for. And that is part of why I give homework, because I really want to make sure that, hey, it may sound like a lot of time that we'll be spending like 2.5 hours. That may seem long. It is. But there are some things that we may not get a chance to go over just because, like, it doesn't come up. And that's why I'm sending over the homework assignments, because it gives us like a little bit of a head start too, so that you really, really get to, kind of get a feel of permit running. And because, of course, the workshop is virtual. So we're online. I want to make sure, though, that you have things that you can see, that you understand. Again, you understand what it is that we'll be going over. I want to just make sure in advance. So I want you to make sure you are taking a look at your assignment for today. I sent it over to each and every one of you with the email that you used to make the payment. Hey, Terry, good to see you in here. But yes, I want to make sure. So make sure that you check your email, check your spam just in case it went into spam. Make sure that that is something that you're checking from me. It's coming from the Permit Empire. It's in there. I try to make it not seem like a sales thing at all, because it's not. So that way it'll give me a better chance of getting into your inbox and not into junk or spam or whatever the case is. So yes, definitely make sure that you are checking that. We're just going over a few things. We'll be going over a few things going leading up into Saturday. So make sure you double check. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm glad to see so many of you here. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's doing wonderful. Last week I didn't do too much. I didn't do any videos last week because I'm also just making sure that I have all my material and everything together for the boot camp. Yes, I've done it before, but I'm that kind of person that I'm like, I got to practice. I got to do it all over again anyway, just to make sure that everything, all my bullet points are there. Everything's going to be there that I need to talk about, right? So that's what I really wanted to focus on, doing that and making sure that I am, staying focused with that, right? Because my work is picked up. I've got a lot of work going on. I got a lot of work going on. I really, really do. And, I almost look at some of these projects as it's an adventure, because I'm doing different types of projects. And that's really, really cool, actually. You get to learn a lot as you're going through, because some of these things I've never done before, and now I am doing them. And so it's real interesting to see the different steps that come into play with these different types of permits, because yes, not all of them are, very simple. Some of them are more complex, and you got to really look into it and dig into it. But that is why it's also good to have a basic understanding of permit running as a whole. Basically, it's good to have that understanding, because once you have an understanding, you can start stepping out past your norm and past, the projects that you're used to. Now, yes, I'm going to always tell you, I'm always going to come back to this, I'm going to always tell you to start with some of the basics. Right. Now, I had recently saw, like, from another permit runner, and they were, talking about permit running and expediting. And I think what happens a lot of time is that we kind of get caught up on, okay, let me be a permanent expediter and let me do all of these things, and let me say that I provide all of these services. And then what happens is that we do nothing, right? Because we put ourselves out there that we do all these things and we really don't know how to do them, right? So this is why I'd love to tell you to start at the very basics. If that means just starting as the courier, do that. Just start, though. You know what I mean? Just get out there and start. If you are starting at the very basics as just the courier, as I'm picking up your documents, or you email me your documents, because a lot of the permit running is online now. It's not actually permit running anymore. I mean, for the most part, everybody seems to have gone to an online system. So a lot of cases, it's just a matter of, an email comes over to you from your client, and you are now uploading that over to the building department. I have a client, he starts his day fairly early. So about 6:30 this morning, I can definitely say 6:30, he will say, hey, make sure you check your email, or I just sent you something, right? And it's just a simple matter of me taking that information and uploading it into the portal and sending it over. And that's running now. That's, in a lot of cases, that's what the courier service is now. And you still make money from that service, right? So it's almost that humble beginning situation. Yes, make sure that you are out there, you're doing what it is that you need to do. Make sure that you are at least putting that first foot forward and getting things started. Robin, what's the difference between a permit runner and a permit expediter? Again, here's the thing, right? Permit running, they're almost the same, Robin. They're almost the same, right? But when it comes to permit expediting, that's when you do go that step further. In a lot of cases, the permit expediter may be in on some of those meetings where you're actually getting the plans put together. The permit expediter may actually be the person who is getting the plans together in general for the project, getting the plans together, making sure that all the documents are needed. That is, in a lot of cases, what the permit expediter does. I do not always act as a permit expediter. Like I said, the client that I had today, that's a permit run, and that's a permit runner. He sends me over, hey, check your email. Hey, I look in the email, I got the documents, I uploaded them to the portal. That's the permit run. That's really the permit run. You provide me the documents, client. You provide me the documents that are needed, and I will get everything submitted for you, right? But in a lot of cases, the permit expediter may be the person who is getting the documents needed for this project. Like, I'll take this because in some instances, I am the permit expediter. Like, I do more for the project. Here in South Florida, Robin, not sure if you're familiar with like how the area is or whatever, but it's hot. So it's hot a lot. And so let's say some of the senior living, we have a lot of condos, a lot of seniors, right? They want to enjoy outside. They want to enjoy that spring, that hot, that summer weather, but they don't necessarily want to be outside, right? So what they do is they get their patio enclosed with glass. It's called a sunroom for the most part. A couple of my clients, they actually just pay me to go ahead and get all of that together. Like, they may actually give me the measurements. They'll give me the measurements of, that enclosure. And then I have my engineer draw up all of the documents. I make sure all the paperwork is together, and then I run that permit, right? Oh, okay, Robin. So you understand what I'm saying then? Yes. So a lot of people, like, I have clients who that's what they want me to do. They just want me to go. I'm giving it to you. You go ahead, expedite it. You go ahead and get things processed. Start to finish almost, right? So that's kind of the difference when it comes down to you being an expediter. Your client does want more from you. they are expecting that you may be able to attend some of these meetings and get some of this paperwork together, get some of these plans together for this project. That's kind of what they're expecting a little bit more of from you. It just kind of leads into itself. You start kind of as a courier, because you're filling things out, especially if you don't have experience in the construction industry, you're not familiar with the paperwork. You really do start out a lot of times as the courier, and that's okay. That's okay, right? You can start off as, just like I said, I'm picking it up from you and I'm going forward from there. But you learn as you go. And now that you're learning, and you can even start calling yourself now the permit expediter, because now I got some understanding as to what this is and what's needed in this project. Like, a lot of my clients actually want me to like tell them what's needed. They're like, okay, I got this like, I'm going to book this project. What's needed for this project? What do I need now to get this permit started? They don't know. In a lot of cases, that's what they're getting that expediter for, to take that portion away from them in general. It's not so crazy. It's not like so much. It's just that I usually talk about it from the permit runner standpoint, because you get that understanding while you're acting as a permit runner. You get the knowledge of, okay, now I understand what this building department is going to require for these type of projects. And when you get to that point, right? Now I start you off a little slow. I tell you, hey, become the courier, get that information, build it up. Let's get that going. And then you can just, hey, I'm a permit expediter. Now I understand how this works. I understand the paperwork that's needed. I can even get plans. I can get surveys for you, all of that stuff. When you start building up right to that point, charge more. There you go. So you can charge more at that point. But starting off, definitely, just even if you don't know exactly what it is that you want to do, because here's the other thing too. I will say, Robin, with like, I am more of a specialist in window and doors. Like, I specialize in that. Hey, Miss Addie, good to see you in here. Like, I specialize in that. So a lot of times when clients come to me for that, they're coming to me with the whole thing. They're like, hey, you just handle that whole thing. Like, I don't know about a wind load chart or wind pressures or design pressures. I don't know. So here, you take that whole thing on. But I do a lot of also like concrete restoration projects. And that is, again, a lot of condos here. And they have to be, you have to make sure they're sound. The structure is sound, because there are a lot of high rises. So they get a lot of concrete restoration, just making sure that they're up to code with the building. Now, I have a very clear understanding of that. I know how that project works. I know what the building department, I know all of that stuff. But I don't I don't participate in that project as to say I'm going to get the plans drawn up for that contractor. I don't do that. And I don't do that because that's one of those tricky things right there. You want to make sure everything is perfect. And I would rather the contractor get his specifics on that rather than me, right? I would rather we do that. But yeah, so for the most part, again, and no problem, Robin. And again, we have to start somewhere. And so I want to go back to it because I didn't want to be on too long tonight. I wanted to just make sure that everybody saw that I sent out that homework assignment, and I'm expecting to get more emails, right? I just saw I got an email now, but I'm expecting to get more emails because I want to make sure that you're taking advantage of it. Again, you paid for it. Take advantage of it and get that understanding, because you do want to get to that point where you are, hey, I'm moving past even being a courier, if that's something that you want to do. If you want to, like, you want to make this a full-time business and this is what you want to do, then sure, at some point you're probably going to say, I'm going to move past being a courier and now I'm going to add on these additional services. And the way you do that is by getting an understanding of what it is that you're doing first. Hence the homework that I sent over, because I sent that over for a reason. So I'm driving that in. Yes, I am. I am, because I want to make sure that you're looking at that and that you're actually reviewing the documents that I sent over. I want to make sure that is what I want to make sure you're taking advantage of it, because again, if this is something that you want to do, you want to step out there, you want to add this to your existing business. Maybe you have a job and you want to do this part-time. Hey, that's fine too. But understand what it is that you're doing, so that it'll make it even smoother for you. And then you can also see what it is exactly in this business that you do want to do. You may not want to do everything. You may not want to say, hey, I'm going to be an expedite. I'm going to have the meetings with the engineers. You may not want to do that. You may not want to have to draft up plans. Like sometimes I will legitimately, like with the windows and doors, I'll draft up the plans. Like I'll, draft up the floor plan for the property. You might not want to do that part. You may find that, hey, I'm going to specialize in doing, fencing. Hey, you won't know that until you get out there and you do it. But at least this way, you'll be getting out there. You'll have some understanding of what it is you're doing. You have, at least a path you can take. Hey, okay, I know this. I'm familiar with this. I can do this. Hey, right? So I definitely want you to do that. Hey, Monique, good to see you in here. Valerie, I'm sorry. I've closed out registration for the boot camp. If that's what you're asking, I closed out registration for it because I've started the homework portion of it, and I know I did not talk about it much, probably as much as I should have, because I like to keep it a little bit smaller. I like to keep the class a little bit smaller because I want to make sure that if there's something that the attendees don't understand what I'm saying, I want to make sure that you get it. That's pretty much it. I just want to make sure that I'm taking that time with you, so that you really do understand what it is. Like, I don't want you to walk away and be like, okay, that was great and I'm done. No, I want you to actually, if this is something you want to implement in your business, like I said, again, even if you have a job, this may be something that you want to add to get additional income. Hey, you can do that. You can 100% add it right into your again. Let me go back to this, right? Let me go back to this. My client this morning about 6:30 texted me to say, hey, check your email. I sent you something. That's it. That building department that he has me submitting to, and I'll just say it's Pompano Beach Building Department, right? Pompano Beach Building Department is an online system. They have an online system. You can come in person if you need assistance. That is something I do like about them. You can come in person if you need assistance. They will help you out. But for the most part, it's all online, and it's an actual really simple process. So the fact that he sent me 2 permits, okay, no problem. I could have did that. Like, let's say I was going to work. Let's say I was about to go to work. I could have did it on my lunch break. I could have did it after work. I could be doing it now, right? Because it's online. And that really works with your schedule, even if you have a job. So again, if you want to, just add this in, this is great. But make sure, for everybody with the homework, I'm not getting off of y'all. You got homework, make sure that you review it. Get back to me, shoot me an email so that I know that you did get it. I want to make sure that you are reviewing the documents, right? And Terry, I don't know. I'm not sure when I will be doing again, but I will definitely keep you posted when I do. But again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you stopping in here. I really appreciate your time. Again, everybody who got the homework, go ahead, send me an email. Okay. I appreciate that. I'll be looking for it tonight. Okay. But yes, again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your evening. And if you have any comments, you have any questions, definitely leave them for me in the comments section. And I look forward to chit chatting with you later. All right. Bye.